Ghana's coastal forts and castles serve as a reminder of the West African country's history. Built by European powers in the 17th century, the forts were originally trading posts used to store goods. But later, when slaves became the region's biggest commodity, the forts became overcrowded dungeons where slaves were kept before being shipped off to plantations in the Americas. Millions of people passed through Cape Coast Castle's infamous door of no return. It wasn't until 1957 that the Gold Coast became independent and was renamed Ghana. Today, 28 million people call this land home, and over 2 million of them live in the nation's bustling capital city, Accra. Sport plays a big part of life in the city, and while football dominates, Accra is also home to an ancient game that is said to have been first played here over 10,000 years ago. The game in question is called Oware, and it's often referred to as African chess.
Oware is a well-known and cherished game that we play in our part of Africa. It's a game that requires a lot of intelligence and strategy. It's often called the game of war. Anyone who excels at Oware is considered to be very wise.
Belonging to the family of pit and pebble games, the basic aim in Oware is to capture more pebbles than your opponents. Considered the national game of Ghana, Oware is said to derive its name, which literally means he marries, from a local myth about a man and a woman who played the game for so long that they decided to get married in order to prolong the session.
Ghanaians love Oware because it's a game that brings not only peace and unity, but it also sees people share ideas, and that can help the nation to move forward. Also, people here love it because it acts as an educational tool. A lot of people learned how to multiply and subtract through Oware. In fact, I'd say that's how most of us learnt mathematics.
In this highly intricate game, players take it in turns to move the pebbles around the board, trying to capture their opponent's stones in the process.
I would agree that Oware is definitely an educational game. It's especially helpful for young people who struggle with maths. I believe that you can actually learn more from playing out here than you can in the classroom. When you play Oware, you're constantly counting and making calculations in your head. With your every move, you need to be aware of how many pebbles you have, and also how many of your opponent's stones you will need to capture in order to win the game.
Such games also serve a crucial social purpose. They give people the chance to get together, engage in lively banter, discuss daily topics, and, for a moment, forget about any of life's hardships.
As an organiser here in Accra, it's my role to make sure that peace and harmony remain whilst the games are being played. I also help in the pairing up of the players, since I'm familiar with most of them. I know their strengths and weaknesses, and so can match people up fairly evenly.
Although the game is still primarily a social pastime, there are Oware clubs all over the country, and national competitions are staged regularly. Some of the more competitive Oware games really do stir up the passions of the players.
Not everyone gets Oware, but we Ghanaians have no such trouble understanding its complexities. The game appeals to people, regardless of what social class they come from. You can get teachers, lawyers, farmers, even chiefs, all meeting up under a tree for a good game of Oware.
Crowd involvement and the frequent verbal jousting between players is an intrinsic part of the game. Spectators often chime in with advice, and nobody is afraid to have their say. In fact, in the Oware world, if you can distract your opponent sufficiently, then the game is already half won.
Things can get very competitive, but isn't that the intention of any sport? After the game, we shake hands, and there are rarely any bad feelings. Oware gives the people of Ghana the chance to demonstrate their mental skills. When I'm playing, I sometimes forget to have my dinner because I'm so engrossed in the game. It's a pleasant way to pass the time, and time certainly passes quickly when you're playing Oware.
Yes!